And we begin with this morning's top story. President Trump fires a new broadside attack on the news media. Mr. Trump used his address at the annual Conservative Political Action Congress in Maryland Friday to intensify his attacks on certain journalists, specifically for their use of anonymous sources. Hours earlier, members of his own staff insisted on briefing reporters only on the condition that their names are not made public. Mr. Trump also lashed out at what he described as fake news, but he did not expand on which organizations he was referring to.
The president followed up the attack with a late-night tweet reading, "Fake news media knowingly doesn't tell the truth. A great danger to our country." Errol Barnett is in our Washington bureau with the latest. Errol, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, President Trump basked in his success at CPAC Friday, ascending to the pinnacle of GOP influence after being shunned by the establishment for years. But before he detailed his agenda, he took aim at the press and those in the intelligence community leaking classified information to reporters.
I've been with CPAC for a long time. All of these years we've been together, and now you finally have a president. Finally.
Addressing an adoring conservative conference Friday, President Trump reveled in returning as a victor to a group which favored other Republican presidential candidates last year.
I love this place. Love you people.
But he began his 50-minute speech by angrily criticizing the mainstream media.
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
The president is frustrated by a CNN story claiming the FBI rejected a request by his administration to publicly denounce a New York Times report that the agency is investigating possible coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia during the election.
I find a lot of this offensive. When you talk about us pushing back on something that doesn't exist.
CNN and other news outlets were denied access to an off-camera briefing Friday. There, White House spokesman Sean Spicer clarified that Chief of Staff Reince Priebus spoke to FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe and was told the New York Times story is inaccurate. Priebus requested that be said publicly, but McCabe declined.
What were we supposed to do when presented by information by them? Sit back and do nothing?
The FBI is not commenting, but any communication by the White House to the Bureau regarding ongoing investigations would be a violation of Justice Department procedures.
I saw one story recently where they said 9 people have confirmed. There are no 9 people.
Mr. Trump complained on Twitter early Friday that the FBI is totally unable to stop the national security leakers, adding it, quote, could have a devastating effect on U.S. Find now.
They shouldn't be allowed to use sources unless they use somebody's name. Let their name be put out there.
Now, despite complaining about fake news, it was President Trump himself who repeated inaccuracies during his CPAC address. For example, he complained Obamacare covers very few people, even though it extended health care to 22 million additional Americans. And he said U.S. borders are, quote, wide open, anyone can come in, despite the fact that more than 400,000 people were apprehended along the southern border in 2016 alone. Alex?
Errol Barnett in Washington. Thanks, Errol.